Greetings, travelers. I'm Enra Silver, and welcome to GlitchSlapped by Enra, episode 47. Earlier this year, I dropped episode 43, which was a basic guide to glitch building in 2023. I'll link it on screen now. Go check it out if you haven't seen it. That episode will give you a good overview of all the glitch techniques currently available to builders in No Man's Sky. Subsequent episodes have focused on deep dives into each of the glitches covered, and this one will close out the deep dive episodes with a close look at the most recently discovered glitch, the Cachepin glitch. I saved this one for last, since it uses either wire glitch or UAG to place items, depending on your setup. Also, make sure to stick around until the end because I've got a couple wrinkles in the Cachepin that I think are pretty cool. In this episode, I'll be using the terms active piece, green stated, red stated, bait piece, and switch piece quite a bit. If you aren't familiar with these terms, check out episode 46, which I will link on screen now. At the beginning of that episode, I go over definitions of all those terms. Now, I know what you're wondering. Why should I bother learning Cachepin when I already know wire glitch, adjacency glitch, and UAG? Easy. The Cachepin allows you to do something none of the other glitches can do. Place pieces that aren't even present in your build menu, but that you know the blueprint for. Most commonly, this is used to place freighter pieces on planets, and planet pieces on freighters. Before we get into the Cachepin, I want to go over another glitch that I forgot to include in episode 43, called the slide glitch. Once I realized I'd forgotten to include the slide glitch in episode 43, I decided to include it here since, like the Cachepin, it's most commonly used on freighters. The slide glitch is used to place pieces in areas that are normally out of bounds or reach. To perform a slide glitch, green state the piece you want to place, snap to something inbounds, and then push the left joystick on your controller in the direction of the snap point you want the piece attached to, and then the build button a second later. Done correctly, the game will start the build command, but by the time it finishes, the piece will be in the new, normally red stated position and the game will build it there. By using snap points, you can control exactly where the piece will glitch in. You can definitely use the slide glitch to place non-snappable pieces. You just lack any sort of fine control over where the piece comes in. It's also possible to use the slide glitch and UAG together to place pieces. However, in my experience, the timing window on this is the smallest in the game. I've pulled it off a couple times, but every time it took 10-15 minutes of failure before I got it to work. So, use at the risk of your own sanity. Now, let's move on to the Cachepin. Like I demonstrated in episode 43, in order to perform a Cachepin glitch, you press the Options button to enter your game menu, not the build menu, and navigate to your catalog. The catalog contains all of the blueprints you've learned in the game. Find the piece you want to build and press X to pin the recipe to your log. Once the piece is pinned, exit the game menu and enter the build menu. Once in the build menu, instead of selecting a piece, immediately go into the edit menu by pressing square on PS. Next, go into build camera to give yourself a better viewpoint, and then press square again to drop back out of build menu. Once you drop out of build menu, the pinned piece will be your active piece. Now simply store it in your wire cache, copy a bait piece, and use the UAG to place it. Pretty straightforward, huh? Oh no, my friend. The Cachepin has more conditions for successful use than any other glitch. Let's go over what you need to watch for if the Cachepin is failing. Firstly, even after you are successful with a Cachepin glitch and get a piece placed, you can't copy it and continue to place it. Every single piece needs to be placed with the Cachepin glitch. Next, in order for the Cachepin to work, you need to have the necessary resources to build your pinned piece. This is one of the unique things about the Cachepin. All other glitches don't require you to have the needed resources to build your glitched in piece. Another thing is your exosuit inventory cannot be full. You must have at least one open slot. Next thing to watch is once you've successfully glitched a piece in with the Cachepin, you don't have to go immediately back into the menu and repeat the steps. You can Cachepin glitch in another of the same piece. However, This can only be done at most 2 more times. Trying to glitch in a 4th piece will always cause the cachepin to fail. Also, if too much time has passed since the piece was pinned, the cachepin will fail even if you haven't glitched in the 3 pieces yet. How much time is too much, you ask? Anything over a minute. This time limit only applies to repeated glitches. The cachepin will work once regardless of how much time has passed. Finally, once you're successful with the cachepin glitch, going back into the catalog and selecting the same piece to cachepin will always cause it to fail. Now that I've covered all the ways the cachepin can fail, let's go over how to recognize and fix them. The most common indication that the cachepin isn't working is if you get the pinned piece as your active piece, but end up glitching in a base computer if using the cachepin on a planet, or a freighter corridor if using the cachepin on a freighter, instead of your pinned piece. This will happen if you try to glitch in too many pieces without going back to the catalog, or if too much time has passed since you pinned the piece. To fix this, simply keep track of how long it's been since you pinned the piece, as well as how many times you've used the cachepin without resetting. If you lack the requisite resources to build the piece, you'll get a base computer or freighter room as your active piece instead of the pinned piece when you drop out of edit menu. If you see this, simply exit build menu, obtain the requisite resources, and try the cachepin again. No need to repin the piece, but recognize you'll only be able to perform the cachepin once before you need to repin, since too much time has passed. If you get a base computer or freighter room even with having enough resources, this is because you tried to pin the same piece you just glitched in. This can be avoided by building anything, I mean anything, before trying to repin the same piece. This can be cachepinning another piece, or just simply building and deleting a pill light. I call this cleansing your cache. Finally, if you are still getting a base computer or freighter corridor despite having the resources and cleansing your cache, check your inventory. You probably lack an open spot. That's a lot of ways that a glitch could fail. What can I say? I am awesome at finding ways to make things not work right. Now, why bother learning a glitch that's so temperamental? Like I said at the start of the episode, the cachepin can do things that no other glitch can do. So let's look at how best to use the cachepin, starting on your freighter. Now, the cachepin can allow you to get basic build pieces on your freighter, but you won't be able to snap them together, so selection of your bait piece is very important. In most cases, a light floor will work best. A basic floor is the same size as 2 light floors, so if you set up your scaffolding in whatever shape you want, cachepinning a basic floor at every other light floor will get them placed just as if you snapped them all together. Now let's look at walls of any kind. If you have a floor glitched in using a light floor, snapping another light floor to your original glitch point will put the middle of the second light floor on the edge of the floor panel. Use this second panel to cachepin in a wall and it's perfectly placed. And honestly, that's about it for using cachepin on your freighter. Now let's look at using the cachepin PlanetSide to place freighter pieces. If you're wanting to place freighter rooms in such a way that one opens into the next, scaffolding is of paramount importance. You have some flexibility in what you use for scaffolding. I use a combination of light floors and cuboids. I'll go over how I set up and utilize my scaffolding. First, let's look at size. All the freighter rooms are equal in size to 2 cuboids. and the freighter rooms are a perfect square. You start by setting up a grid of cuboids. You can make the grid any size or shape you'd like. Be aware that if you set the grid up as a circle, in order for the freighter rooms to open into each other, the cuboids will have to be opened up into each other, which requires at least a 64-sided circle. So, let's say this glass cuboid here is where you want your first freighter room to go, and we'll make a 3x3 block of freighter rooms attached to the first. So from the first cuboid, we snap a line of 6 cuboids going away, starting with a regular cuboid and then alternating glass and regular. All glass cuboids will be the center of a freighter room. Now, starting from the second glass cuboid, we snap cuboids to create our 5x5 scaffold. So here's the scaffold. Again, the glass cuboids will be our UAG point for each freighter room. Now from here, you can simply UAG from each glass cuboid to a freighter room. But if you've seen the previous episode of GlitchSlapped, which was a deep dive into the UAG, you can tell there is no way to differentiate between sides of the glass cuboid. This means that any UAG done from the glass cuboid lacks the ability to accurately control orientation of the freighter room. Depending on the freighter room, this may or may not matter. However, I like to have uniformity with my rooms, so what I'll do is first UAG to replace all the glass cuboids with light floors. I can then delete all the cuboids and then use UAG from the light floors to place all my freighter rooms, making sure each bait piece light floor has the line pointed the same way. So here we have our 3x3 block of freighter rooms. You can tell by looking at the roofs that they're all lined up. Looks cool, but there's no way to get inside. So let's get a door on the front room. Snap the light panel used for the UAG back into place, then snap 2 more light panels towards the front of the room. Now use UAG to bait another light panel in the same line, making sure the line on the panel is pointed to either side, and switch to a golden half counter. Golden counters are the exact same size as light panels, so a half counter is half a light panel. Now use UAG to bait a half golden counter back towards the freighter room and switch to a light panel. This results in a light panel offset halfway from the previous. Delete all but the last light panel and green state another light panel back towards the freighter room. Notice it's merged halfway into the wall. This will be the spot for your UAG. Bait a light floor with the line pointed into the room and switch to a freighter door. This will give you a door that opens into the room, but without the outer railing you get if the door is facing the other way. Now, what if you want multiple levels? Easy. The freighter stairs have the same spacing as the rooms. To get stairs glitched in appropriately, pick the room you want them to open into and use UAG to bait a light floor back into its center and switch to another cuboid. Snap another cuboid towards the wall you want the stairs to be at. Using UAG, green state a second cuboid in the same direction and switch to a light floor. Snap another light floor to it and delete the first. Pin the stairs from the catalog and using UAG, green state the first light floor back and switch to the stairs. Make sure the line on the light floor is pointed in the direction you want the stairs to ascend. Now, since the stairs will always ascend away perpendicularly from the room they open into, if we wanted stairs ascending parallel to our block, like up to a second floor for example, we'd need to first glitch a corridor or room off the side and then glitch the stairs in perpendicularly to that corridor or room. Now, if you want a second level, you need 2 cuboids in between each vertical glitch point. Start by snapping a cuboid on top of the cuboid in your corner room on the first floor. Snap one more cuboid on top, then snap 3 more cuboids off the side of the top cuboid, running parallel to the stairs. Pin a freighter room from the catalog, and using UAG, green state another cuboid parallel to the stairs and glitch in the room. Snap 2 more cuboids parallel to the stairs through the room you just placed. Pin a freighter corridor, and again using UAG, green state another cuboid parallel to the stairs and glitch in the corridor. Snap 1 more cuboid parallel to the stairs, then another perpendicular to the stairs towards the stairs. Pin another freighter corridor, and again using UAG, green state another cuboid towards the stairs and glitch in the corridor. Now, using the same spacing we have been, make the second floor whatever size you'd like. Here's a couple examples of what can be done with freighter rooms PlanetSide. First is a long stretch of freighter rooms underwater. Yes, they are watertight. The second is a compact stack of several levels. Now, as I promised at the beginning, I'm going to close things out with a couple fun little wrinkles in the Cachepin. One that I've never heard anyone mention or use, and another that I just recently saw Beeblebum use on a live stream. To show the first one off, we'll need to jump up to my freighter. Now here we are on the freighter. I showed earlier that every piece needs to be Cachepinned in. Once a piece is placed, you can't simply copy it and place it again. I recently discovered that there are actually 2 exceptions to this rule. The byte beat switch and noise box are both not available in the standard freighter menu. However, once you Cachepin one of them in, if you copy the piece, it green states, and you can place as many of them as you'd like. This makes creating scaffolding much easier since you can use byte beat wires with impunity on your freighter. Now for the second one, if you look at your build catalog in the freighter pieces and then compare that to your freighter build menu, you'll notice there's one difference. The external freighter stairs are not present in your catalog. This means that you can't pin them to place them with the Cachepin glitch on a planet. Or can you? Oh, you can. Trust me. Or actually, trust Beeblebum. So, what you can do if you're wanting to place a set of these on your planet is you teleport up to your freighter. On your freighter, you go into your build menu and go to the external freighter stairs. When you mouse over them, you notice that you can press R3 on PlayStation to pin the recipe. Once you've pinned the recipe, teleport back down to the planet. Once you get back down to your base, it will still be your pinned recipe, and you can Cachepin them in just like you normally would. Now, a lot of time will have passed with the teleporting, so you're only going to be able to get probably one at a time, but it is a way to get them in. Time consuming, but a way if you're really wanting to have them in a build. And that's going to do it for episode 47 of GlitchSlapped by Enra. This is the last of the deep dive episodes. Hopefully you found them useful, informative, or at least entertaining. If you did, please do the YouTube things. I'm Enra Silver, and I'll see you around the verse. But wait, I have an addendum. This episode took a while to make, probably about a month and a half. And one of the first things I did was record the voiceover. So in between recording the voiceover and releasing this video, I've seen several people posting in different Discords that I'm a part of that the Cachepin was patched, didn't work for them anymore. Upon looking into it further, it turns out that it's not that the Cachepin doesn't work, it's that they don't have the option to do it. In their catalog, the pin option simply isn't present. Everything looks fine, they just don't have the pin option. This puzzled me for quite a while, and then the great Action Pants Gaming helped me out. He dropped into a live stream one morning and shared the fact that the pin command doesn't unlock until a specific point in the storyline. So I went and started about 7 or 8 different games. and each game I played through the storyline, watching very closely for when the pin command would become available in the catalog. The good news is the pin command unlocked in every single save. The bad news is it unlocked at different points in every save. Some saves it unlocked when I got to the anomaly. Other saves it didn't unlock until after I had recruited my overseer and built the science terminal. So if you're having this problem, where you simply don't have the pin option, play the game, enjoy the storyline, and eventually the pin command will unlock for you. And then you'll be able to cash pin to your heart's content. Mic drop, and I'm out.